Hey everybody, it's Casual Boobs coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the auction, specifically about the auction day 3. I'm apparently late to the punch here because I forgot, it never occurred to me to look and check. Apparently, as we know from the advent calendars, the Asian server lives in tomorrow, and so as soon as us here in the US, as soon as our marathon auction for the IS-3A clone, the Peregrine, ended, the next day's auction started in Asia. So it gives you a sneak peek of what's coming, which is kind of nice, even though they give you 12 hours or 13 hours to go bid and stuff. So it's basically the two things are the WZ-120G FT numbers and letters, and then also a 3D style for the T95. So this, we know this now, right? But this is a new tank. The WZ, it may be hard to tell because they're all named exactly the same, but a WZ-120G FT is not in the game. Has not been in the game at this point. It seems very similar to the WZ-121 GFT, but it is the tier 8 premium tank. But that is not the same tank. That is totally different because of the 1 there. So, anyways, I figured I would just go over this really quick. Because I haven't played it. I don't have gameplay footage. I'm very sorry to spoil this. They didn't give it to us. I didn't even know about this until I saw it on the Asia server in advance. So I will do my best to try to help you decide whether this is something you would want or not want. We'll do that by comparing it to some other tanks at that tier. So first and foremost, the penetration on standard rounds is 171, which is fine. It's fine. It's not great for tier 9, but that's actually serviceable. And also the premium rounds, let me see here. The premium rounds are heat rounds that do 340 penetration, which is really good. So like I think the penetration will be okay. You probably won't need to spam gold a lot, but if you do, you have 340 really good penetration. Now it's not as good as, again, the Tech Tree tank has 750 alpha, and it has that amazing, it's like the only good thing about the Chinese tank destroyers is the 290 standard pen and the 395 stupid broken premium Hesh pen, or premium HE pen, premium heat pen, excuse me. It's late, I didn't expect to make this video. And this is the same, like this is like the second highest in the game, right behind the Jaegeru. So like this is broken. This is very good. But the new tank does not have that, but it's still pretty good, right? So generally it has a little bit higher DPM, but it also only hits for 560 as opposed to 750 of the Tech Tree tank and the 704. These are the ones I'm comparing it to because it just feels relevant, right? So if you scroll down, so it's a 130 caliber gun, right? Shell velocity is nothing special. 930 is usable. Ammo capacity is only 30 for doing 560 damage, so your potential damage is actually kind of low. I could see that kind of coming into play. Now this is where things get spicy, right? So the gun handling is worse than the Tech Tree tank and the 704, right? These things have derpy guns, but it's because they hit like trucks, right? They hit like absolute trucks. They hit for 750. This thing only hits for 560, and it has worse moving traverse, worse tank traverse, right? And then also worse turret traverse, which is just moving the gun around, which is not as big of a deal, but like it's literally worse than double as bad as the big derpy gun. So like I think this gun is going to feel like chucking a discus. It's going to feel very derpy, but it does have slightly better final accuracy. So, and I think when we get to it later, you'll see. I think how this is meant to be played is in a way back. I think it's meant to be holding its shots and aiming way off, and I think it's going to be kind of frustrating to play because you can't, like, it's not a Sturv. It doesn't have 0.24 accuracy, so you're going to whiff a lot of shots, but you can't play a lot closer, I don't think. But we'll get into that in a second. So, like, it does have that going for it. The better final accuracy, but also the soft stats are way worse. 6 gun depression is the same as the Tech Tree tank, and it's the same as the 704. And the gun traverse from side to side is 10 on either side, which is kind of limited, right? I mean, the WZ has 12 to either side, and the 704 has 11 to either side. So it's going to feel very similar to those things, but like every degree that you're missing is just going to make it feel that much harder. Like you really can't play close because it's going to be so easy to get away from the gun on this thing. However, now we get to this, the mobility here, right? So this is where things pick up. The forward speed of 47 is really good. However, comma, the power to weight is only 14, right? And so it's pretty similar to a 704's 15. And you also get you get helped out on the ground resistance and stuff. So I think it's going to be about as fast as a 704, which if you've ever played one of those things, they're not slow, but they're certainly not what I would call fast. So that's where we are. It's probably going to be about as fast as a 704. But the big thing I want to talk about here is the tank traverse. This is a really big deal for everything that doesn't have a turret, because this is like, all right, if there's a wheelie boy coming around and you need to circle him to shoot him before he circles around you, how are you doing? Are you going to do that? Or are you just dead now? And the 704 has really bad tank traverse. The WZ has pretty much better, but then this one has 39, right? 39 is way, way better. So it feels, I think, I was talking about this with Schwacht a little bit ago, this tank seems like an up-tiered, like a natural progression from the tier 8 premium tank. It's a little harder, but and the gun's pretty derpy. The armor is kind of meh, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then it turns really fast and stuff. So like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's impossible to say without for sure because I haven't played the damn thing. But it seems like this is a big one, right? So it will turn pretty darn quick. 39 degrees per second is pretty fast. How does that relate to a medium tank? I'm sorry, this is going to be a little more stream of consciousness than it normally is for these kinds of videos because I don't know. I didn't give me a heads up on this. So, all right, let's just say like a 4202 British medium tank, effective traverse of 39. So that's pretty good. So you're basically going to turn like a medium tank or faster. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You're gonna turn like a medium tank. Effective traverse. Yeah, 34 and 37. 39. 30. Yeah, okay. So it'll be actually faster. It turns faster than a 4202 does, which is again a big deal for things that have no turret because this is going to affect how easily you can be circled. So it will turn very quick, but it's got that narrow gun arc and the derpy gun. The stationary camo is very good. I will say that's 18 is workable, right? This is it, right? This is one. All the numbers and letters look the same. I can't keep track of which ones. So you've got camo paint and a decent crew and concealment. That puts you at 24 and 37. All right, those people are going to say, "Buh, that's not very good, buh," but like that's workable. That is a workable amount. That's fine, you know. And you can buff that with some of these different here +5 to field mod this. You get up to 29. I mean, this you can make it stealthy if you really want to. You do this, throw one of these on there, and all of a sudden now we're at 35 and 48. This is dumb. This right here is dumb. So yes, you can make it stealthy. It's not hard to make it stealthy. So there's that. View range of 390 is also very good, right? So that's going to make it easier to do the spotting for yourself. Fire chance at 12 is okay. I will say this: the track repair time is 8, which is way better than 12, which is what the Tech Tree tank and the 704 get. This sounds like an underrated. Like this sounds, people are going to overlook this. Oh, track repair time, but like that means that if you have the Tech Tree one and you have repairs, you go down to 6.5 seconds, which is still a long time, right? If you're being shot by things, that feels like an eternity. So now this guy, you have repairs, you go down to 4.4 seconds, and you can actually even buff that even more with like, you know, food and stuff like that. So like the tracks are going to repair really fast, and it's going to turn really fast. So I think that this could, if you wanted to, I think you could probably play this closer up, but the armor is going to fail you, and now we will talk about that. Because I think it's going to be hard to play up close, but if you manage to make it work and not get shot in the face, then I think it can work really well, because again, it turns really quick, and the tracks repair really fast. So the armor is very flat, relatively flat, right? And it's only 150 millimeters of armor, and it's not very well angled. So it's about 190 looking flat on, right? So what does that mean? So that means almost every tier 8 in the game with standard rounds has a pretty good chance, a 50-50 chance or higher, of going through you straight on. If you use a bunch of gun depression, that gets up to 215 and stuff, but if people tap 2, they're going in, right? It's not armor, right? It's got these weird angles, so maybe you could think to do something like this, but lower plate's really even weak too. It's not very good. As a comparison, the 704 has 120 millimeters. It's very well sloped, and that effectively is at 165, right? So the 704 doesn't really have good armor either. This technically, the WZ has technically got better armor than the 704. So there's your comparison, right? It should be better armor than the 704. You know, I don't think either one of them is very good, but if you find playing a 704 to be kind of fun and you find it kind of bouncy, this should be more bouncy. I will say one of the things that the 704 has going for it is it's got that big scary gun. So right, a 704 rolls around a corner, you don't want to take that hit, so you might rush your shot so that you can back up and not take the hit. Well, this guy, the WZ, it's not 750, so people might actually just aim, and then they're not afraid to take 560 damage as much. So I don't think this is going to be quite as effective. I think people are going to bother to aim a little better at this because they're not worried about taking 750 to the face, as opposed to the 704, where they might rush their shot because nobody wants to take 750 to the face. So as for how effective is this going to be, God, I hate it's so difficult. I mean, it's so hard to tell. I don't think it's going to be trash. I don't think it's going to be overpowered. I think it's going to be a fine tank. So if you like Chinese tank destroyers, if you like the tier 8 premium Chinese tank destroyer, I think you'll probably like this one too, because it seems like a grown-up version of that, right? Get it, you know, higher than average alpha, the very, very derpy gun. In fact, I think these are exactly the same soft stats. Just there. Ants. Sorry, we're chit-chatting because I didn't have a chance to even think about this before I even found out that this was the thing. So yes, all right, it's actually slightly worse gun handling than the tier 8 premium tank. But again, similar kind of feel, right? They're both kind of derpy. You're hitting harder. So I think they're going to play similarly. And let me see, what's the armor on the tier 8 premium? It's 220 effective. Is it better? Is it better? It is. It is. The tier 8 premium actually has better effective armor than the tier 9 reward tank. That's a meme. That's a meme and a half. Okay, so yeah, I think that this tank is going to be fine and playable, but really not great. I think that you're going to see players that don't know what they're doing have a really bad time with it, but maybe it can still do the bushwanker thing, and maybe it's got that speed that maybe in the late game you can be a little closer and play the medium tank. I don't know. But there's the gist. It should have about slightly as good or slightly better armor than the 704. Kind of a derpy gun, fast track repair, pretty good DPM. Yeah, I mean so that's the gist. This forward speed is legit, but again, don't let that fool you. The power to weight is really low, so I think it's not meant to play close for sure. At least until the mid to late game. I think this is probably going to be to get in a position and then post up and then take your shots, and then this will allow you to move a little bit more. But I don't think you're supposed to be up front because you don't really have any armor, especially for a tier 9. Good lord. All right, well, I'm sorry that I couldn't get actual gameplay footage of this. I blame Wargaming for not telling me about that this was happening. So anyways, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been useful. I don't know what it's going to cost. I guess, what's the minimum bid? Open auction, so you'll be able to tell what the actual auctions are. Doesn't tell me what the bid is. Tell me what the bid is. Anyway, well, you'll see soon enough. There's also a style for the T95. Get that, because why the hell not? So anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.